Ah, hi. How are you? I was just here enjoying the view. For those who are new here, my name is Elijah, and I have changed titles. Now I am your storyteller. Today, I'm going to teach you. We're going to talk about a lesson called integrity, and I'm going to share with you in form of a story. So sit back, relax, and grab some popcorns. Grab some popcorns because you're about to enjoy a video. So last time, for those who are new, there is another video somewhere here. Go check it out from last time. I'm sure you'll also enjoy that one. So last time I took you to a time beyond its civilization. This time I'm going to bring you to closer to a time that I'm sure most of you can relate. So I'm going to take you to a time where there's this man. This man is called Kiroboto, and I am sure maybe you have guessed. Mr. Kiroboto had a farm. So and in Mr. Kiroboto's farm was big, was the pride of the Kiroboto family. It was an envy of all over the countryside. It was a very big farm. Had every kind of animal, you name it: cows, chicken, not zebras, the normal domestic animals you can think about. Mr. Kiroboto's farm had it. And Mr. Kiroboto had taken so much of his time, his lifetime, building this farm. From when he was a young man, around 17, 18 years, he started his farm with a mere egg. From that egg, he grew and he became he built an empire for himself. So this time, Mr. Kiroboto was aging. He was getting a bit old, and he was realizing, this farm is too big. I'm getting old. I'm not able to supervise and to manage the whole of it. And soon maybe he might end up leaving this world without naming an heir, someone who will inherit all of this fortune, because maybe he was not fortunate enough to have kids, because he committed his life into the farm. So he decides, I'm going to come up with a plan. And this plan is for me to find out who is going to be named heir to Mr. Kiroboto's farm. So he grabs his pen, takes time off in his office, starts writing a plan. He writes the first one. Not this one. What am I going to do? He has his pen, and ideas start flowing. He has an idea of how he's going to choose. He writes. Before he knows it, it's late. But he has decided on how he will choose his next successor. Early in the morning, it's his farm. His roosters go start roosting all over. It's the morning. Rise and shine. It's a beautiful morning. He goes and he calls a few of his managers and says, all the workers today is an off day. We are having a meeting. Let's meet in the hall. So all the workers in his farm, regardless of how big or small they were, from the managers to the transport people, even to the lowest one, the cleaners and the sweepers, all of them meet at the hall. So at the hall, Mr. Kiroboto stands up, and suddenly silence falls on the room. He stands up because he's a man who is respected, and he stands up. Good morning, everyone. I'm sure you're wondering why the emergency meeting. I have decided to name my next successor. He speaks with a loud voice, deep voice, with a big belly. Obviously, he must have a big belly. And he says to the group of people, he tells them, I will give you each a task, and from this task, the one who performs the best will become the next heir to Mr. Kiroboto's farm. And this task requires that each of you takes care of an egg. And immediately when he says this, trolleys come inside the room and eggs up in the trays are passed around to each and every one of the workers. And he says, from that egg, I want all of you to take care of it. Take care of that egg nicely until it hatches, and from that chick that comes out, we will assess. The one with the healthiest chick, the one who gets an approval from the Ministry of Health, will be named the next successor. And that ends his speech. As soon as he leaves the podium, as soon as Mr. Kiroboto leaves the podium, excitement fills the room. Mamas can be heard. A few here and there can be, this one is mine. Some of the workers talk among themselves. So everybody grabs the egg and begins to plan on how they're going to take care of this egg. Among these people is one lowly worker, and he goes by the name Mr. Sigilili. Sigilili is a worker who used to take care of the pigsty. He got one of the worst jobs in the farm. He used to clean the sty, and I'm sure some of you have seen how pigs live. It's not the best of conditions. So he used to be the one who has to clean up after the pigs, after they eat and after they mess up. And he was somebody that other people used to despise. But one thing people did not know is Mr. Sigilili was a good man, a man with a good heart. And he had heard what Mr. Kiroboto had said, took his egg home, and he marked out his egg. He marked it out. He said he called it the winner egg, the golden egg, because this was his golden ticket out of the poor life. So he called it the golden egg and put it among his other eggs with the one chicken he had, and he began the wait. Fun fact for those who do not know, an egg takes 21 days for it to hatch. And vital information I forgot to tell you, Mr. Kiroboto had given them 30 days. And after 30 days they will have another meeting and discuss how it turned out. So he takes his egg, the golden egg, he puts it under, and he goes about his business as usual. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. Comes around day 20. He looks at the other eggs. His previous eggs hatched, but this one egg is not yet hatched. So he looks at it and he wonders, let me give it a few more days. He goes back. When he's with his other colleagues after he's done with work, he begins to chat up the other people. There's this guy called Johnson. Johnson was the loudmouth of the farm. He comes and brags, my chick is hatched. It's a beautiful brown chick. None like the other. As soon as Mr. Johnson speaks, another guy, Robert, mine also hatched. Here he hears, Mr. Sigilili hears a few of his friends mentioning how theirs have hatched. But him, looking back, he's silent, he's quiet. And he's wondering, what did I do? Did I drop the egg? Did I shake it too hard? He wonders, but he says, let me be patient, let me wait and see. So he waits 3 more days. And this time, everybody in the farm mentioning how all their chicks have hatched and now they are grooming them, ready to get ready for the day. 5 days to go to the big presentation. 4 days to go. Mr. Sigilili's eggs still not hatched. 3, 2, 1 day to go. He goes and calls and talks to his wife and asks her, did you do anything to the egg? The wife says no. And she says, how come it didn't hatch and all the other eggs hatched? The wife says she doesn't know. So he asks the wife, what should I do? The wife says, just present it as it is. As the way he gave it to you. If yours decided not to hatch, present it as it is. And it won't hurt anything. Besides, if it ends up that you don't win, you still have the job you used to have. So don't worry about it. And that night, Mr. Sigilili could not sleep. He had called this the egg, the golden ticket, the golden egg. that will eliminate all poverty and all kinds of troubles he might have been facing. But now the egg turns out to be disappointing. But he decides to listen to his wife and follow the advice. So bright and early he wakes up. On the way to the hall, hey, he sees Mr. Johnson. Kumbe Mr. Johnson went above and beyond. He even bought a suit for his chick. A suit. Have you ever seen a chick in a suit and tie? Hey, he looks behind Robert, his chick. His chick even has nail polish. Hey, they went above and beyond. Hey, vituko bwana. So they all gather at the hall. Everybody ready, excited. Some people comparing their chicks. Mine is even taller than yours. Yours is a bit fat. They compare. But Mr. Sigiridi, everybody is looking at it. Once Mr. Sigiridi enters the hall, people look at him. He doesn't have a chicken. There's no chicken sound to be heard. So they start wondering, hey, Mr. Sigiridi, what happened? Did you eat your egg? Did you drop your egg? So he decides just to be silent and wait for Mr. Kiroboto to come on the podium. As soon as he steps up, as usual, silence fills the room. He speaks with his commanding voice. He speaks. I am very glad to hear the sound of chicks. It means that you have done the task before me. So one by one, I want you to line up and present your chicks to the Ministry of Health. So they line up, everybody. But Mr. Sigiridi is afraid. He's wondering, what will the reaction? Will there be the reaction of his employer? If he cannot take care of a simple egg, will he be able to manage a farm? So he's filled with doubts. Every time he's in the line, somebody else comes. Just go, no problem. I don't mind. You go. So there you go. Soon, nobody's behind him. He's the last one. He has no option. He has to go and face Mr. Kiroboto. So after they assess, the health ministers write something, jot down like that, and soon it is his turn. Then Mr. Kiroboto with his deep voice, where is my chick? It is here. Mr. Kiroboto, this is not a chick. It's dead. And it is very unfortunate. I took care of it. I did everything I could. Mr. Kiroboto was having none of it. Take your egg, go. So, and once he was told that, laughter burst out in the room. People were laughing at Mr. Sigiridi. He took his egg in shame, and lowering his head, he walked away. So it was so Mr. Kiroboto said, let me a few minutes, we have a deliberation, and then I'll come and choose the winner. So as he was speaking, people start talking, people bragging, mine is the best, but Mr. Sigiridi decided to be quiet. Soon after the minutes were over, he comes up with his team, and he stands in front of them and he says, after careful deliberation, I have decided that the next heir to my fortune will be Mr. Sigiridi. Mr. Sigiridi is in shock. Me. As he looks behind, everybody's eyes are in shock. How? Mr. Kiroboto, come on to the podium. Come. So Mr. Sigiridi walks. He was in the back. He went to wallow in his sadness in the back. He begins to walk slowly past all those eyes of disgust and of shock and of how is this guy, the guy who brought an egg back, how is he winner? So he walks up and goes to the podium and Mr. Kiroboto gives him a hearty shake, and he smiles. There's a big grin from ear to ear, and he says, I am pleased with you. You know why? Because all the eggs I gave each of you were boiled. My boiled? But so it was a lie? He says, I am I bought them because I knew that some of you I cannot trust. And you have come and proven my theory right. The only person I can trust is Mr. Sigilini. Huh? So people are, now people now, it moved from shock to embarrassment. Like Mr. Hey, remember Mr. Johnson with his chicken? He started hiding his chicken. He's embarrassed because everybody went and replaced their eggs and replaced it with a new chick. And Mr. Kiroboto knew that if he gave them a live chick, he wasn't going to get what he was looking for. Is not somebody who could take care of eggs, but he was looking for somebody with integrity. And some of you might be asking, what is integrity? Integrity is a value of doing the right thing even when no one is watching. Behind closed doors, Mr. Kiroboto gave them eggs, and behind closed doors they went and switched out, thinking they were being sneaky. Yeah? And maybe they took care of the egg and they saw no progress, and they became sneaky and replaced the egg with a chick. But eventually the truth came out, and they were embarrassed by them. And this reminds me of a memory verse in Proverbs 12 verse 22, and the Bible says, God hates a deceitful tongue, but he delights in those who are trustworthy. Are you trustworthy today? Are you among those who would bring a chick after being given a boiled egg? Or are you someone who will stand with the truth regardless of how the outcome turns out? So this week and moving forward, practice integrity. Learn to be honest. Given the task, if you're not able, allow the truth to come out and deal with the consequences, because it is a choice you have made, rather than lie and the truth come out later on. So this week, please God by being a person of integrity, a person who is truthful, and God will surely bless you. So wait, you're wondering where the story went up. It ended up with Mr. Sigilini getting all the fortune of Mr. Kiroboto. And what about those people who are deceitful, you may ask? And Mr. Kiroboto, they say a good father is a forgiving father. So he decided that he would forgive them over this one transgression, and if any other point he discovers a lying and a deceitful tongue, they will be cast out from the working force. Okay, so be careful not to be cast out by God himself, because God delights in a truthful tongue. Okay, so that was the story. Hope you enjoyed it and have a blessed time. Peace.